Trying to remember. Last time we left off, I think we actually took out the armored spider, if I remember properly. So let's get to it. Okay. Alright, and before... so now we dealt with the armored spider, we can't really proceed onward yet because there are actually some... there are actually a few really powerful enemies ahead of its area. So, our next area that we're going to visit is going to be the Tower of Latria. But before I forget... I should probably read the descriptions of the areas, considering I keep forgetting. Baltarian Palace, a huge stone castle in the heart of in the heart of the northern kingdom of Boletaria. Hungry soldiers whose souls have been stolen by demons attack trespassers, and terrible dragons nest there. Phalanx Archstone, Archstone of the Demon Phalanx. Past the huge Boltarian castle gates lies the cliff pathway, now a feeding ground for dragons, which leads to the inner ward where the knights live. Archstone of the Demon Tower Knight. Inside Boletaria's gate, where the streets intertwine, lies a trap set by the fat official and an embodiment of old King Alant's madness. Stonefang Tunnel, city of the burrowers, keepers of a huge tunnel. Most of the stubborn excavators who supported the soldiers of Boletaria had their souls taken. Lacking their own will, they mindlessly continue working. Archstone of the Demon Armor Spider, the Tunnel City. Below the smiting grounds lies a huge tunnel worthy of its name. It said a dragon's grave is in the deepest parts of the molten area. Tower of Latria. Latria, land of the Queen's Ivory Tower. An old man took revenge on the Queen by locking her family in a prison with inhuman guards. All that escapes the place are the prisoners' cries. That is fucked up. Alright. So, as you'll notice, the Tower of Latria is basically a gigantic prison. Well, not the entirety of it. We'll move past that eventually. Also, watch out for these guys because they can't actually stun you. And if they succeed in stunning you, they'll basically run up and grab you. Similar to that of a certain enemy from Bloodborne. And of course, with that key we collected, we can open these doors. Prison of Hope 3, third floor cell key. A cast iron key with a 3 etched into it. It opens locked cells on the third floor of the Prison of Hope. Shard of Mercury Stone, a shard of melted poisonous ore, enhances knives, curved swords, spears, and so on. An ore that applies a strong poison to the weapon. Weapons can be strengthened by Mercury Stones up to a maximum of level 5. And we get the wizard's clothing. A well-made cloth vest worn by official magicians. And and the descriptions are mostly the same for the rest of the attire. Wooden Catalyst, the most basic tool for using spells. To use spells, the following conditions must be met. You've learned a spell, you memorize the learned spell, you have a catalyst equipped, you have the MP required to cast the spell. Okay, before we go that way, we're actually going to... We're going to go ahead and check out this path first. Silver Cornet, I believe is how you pronounce it. A crown worn from a crown wrought from silver. This decorative piece is only given to the famous magicians of the distinguished Jormungandr family. It is imbued with a unique spell that increases the bearer's maximum MP. There's another key. You can kill the prisoners, but I wouldn't really recommend it because they don't really drop a whole lot of souls anyway. I may have already read the description for Royal Lotuses. Okay, never mind, I haven't. The petal of a crimson flower that floats on water removes poison from the user's body. This flower became famous as an ornament of nobility because of its beauty. Fresh spice. A sweet-smelling spice which soothes the soul. Recovers some of the user's MP. It is used by royalty as a luxury, and by the magician as a necessity. And with that second key that we just acquired, we can open this gate. I forgot how brutal some of these medieval torture devices were. If you guys hear that singing in the background, that's actually the merchant that we're going to come across once we get past the next gate. By the way, be sure you, if you have a Royal Lotus, be sure you have one ready because I can't remember the exact locations, but I do know that within those I forget what they're called, but within a few of these torture devices, there's actually going to be an enemy that just comes out and poisons you. I know that for a fact. Okay, this one I know for a fact has an enemy with a poisonous sword. Actually, no, my mistake. It's this one. I wouldn't really recommend dodging through those blasts because they're so large that they can still hit you. And don't run across here either because there's a pitfall. And basically the description is mostly the same for the rest of the Prison of Hope keys. And just kill these guys for their items. Claws. A fist weapon with protruding sharp claws. It has a slashing attack type. Its appearance is indeed vicious. It's often used by the king's spies. Alright, now what else was it that I picked up? Oh yeah, Widow's Lotus. The petal of a dark flower that floats on water removes plague from the user's body. Now, thankfully, you don't really have to worry about plague until you get to the Valley of Defilements, which we'll get to later. This flower was fastened to corpses of those who died of plague during their burial, but later it became an emblem of the people claimed by the disease. Oh yeah, the Assassin's outfit. I forgot to read that. Assassin's mask. A thin cloth mask which covers the nose and the mouth. For thieves and assassins who need to mask their breath. Either way, it isn't used for good. Black leather. Glossy black leather clothes. They function as thick skin and offer protection without hindering the wearer's movements. They are especially good at resisting poisons. Black gloves. Black leather gloves. They are impermeable to water, allowing one to perform dangerous work. Black leather shoes that muffle footsteps. Used by thieves and assassins who need to stay hidden in the shadows. Either way, they are not used for good. And then there was Secret Dagger. A half-bladed dagger in wide use amongst the king's spies. A slashing weapon that inflicts heavy damage on soft flesh, but has limited effect on metal armor and hard scales. Daggers are very effective after parrying, as well as in close-range stabs from behind. There we go, that's how you get it done. You can also just wait until he passes by before you open the gate. But, oh well. For some reason, I forgot to equip my arrows. Anyway, here's that merchant.
You're an ordinary human, aren't you? Where do you call home? Dear me, I shouldn't pry. Oh, perhaps you'd like something from my collection. I've had better days. I was once the wife of royalty, and I have some nice things to show for it.
And of course, you can also buy things from her. Well, of course, she's a merchant after all. Well, you can buy some really special items from her, is what I'm saying. In fact, you can, such as full moon grass, for instance. However, it's really expensive, so be sure you have the souls for it. Widow's lotuses, which you're probably going to need to buy later on. And a ring of avarice, which I will most definitely be getting once I get the souls for it.
Before, there were many others trapped here, but they went mad and ventured above of their own volition. Redemption? There exists no such thing. The Queen banished her depraved old husband from the land. He returned in strange golden garb with foul demons in tow. They pillaged Great Latria, land of the learned, and locked us in this dungeon. Since then, they've been feeding off our souls, telling us over and over that if we go above, we will be granted redemption. I know the truth. The church goddess may die, but never for long. And we are trapped below, forever. Redemption?
Okay, she's just repeating herself. Guess I can read the description of this item. Aghae of Guidance. A stone that temporarily radiates light when it comes into contact with air. It is prized as one of a kind jewel, but with no use in crafting. It is mostly employed simply as a guidepost. Shard of Moonlight Stone. A shard of ore which reflects moonlight, enhances straight swords, curved swords, axes, hammers, and so on. An ore that applies a strong magical effect to a weapon. Weapons can be strengthened by moonlight stones up to a maximum of level 5. Rapier. Rapiers have a narrow attack range, but deal heavy damage. They work well against metal armor and hard scales, but are easily parried and have difficulty breaking enemies' guard. The wielder of a rapier can attack with a shield raise, so it's better to use it as a parry than block attacks while in the left hand. Buckler, a small shield that is especially effective at parrying. Its use requires a fair amount of skill. In general, lightly equipped soldiers pair this with a rapier. Black Bolt. A very short, it's a black iron bolt. It pierces deep into the target, dealing massive damage. Ranged attacks require that both a crossbow and bolts be equipped. Ring of Avarice. A luxurious gold ring fitted with a large jewel. It allows its wearer to obtain more souls when slaying enemies. It was once a symbol of wealth and debauchery. I think that's how you say that.
Well, that's quite all right. I wish to stay here, but I need souls to stay sane. Surely you must understand this.
And yeah. And we can always come back to this area to buy more stuff from her if we so desire. Now, I think if I remember properly, there's an enemy with a poison sword in here. Yep, I thought so. That's why I came prepared. Here it is. Ring of Magical Sharpness. A soft ring bearing a light green seal. Increases the magic attack power. Decreases defense against magic. Made by Gary, a friend of Sage Frake, the Visionary, who is known for his magical handicrafts. The seal's design is a left-facing man. Also, in this cell is actually Sage Frake, who will actually teach you some magic if you free him. However, the key to his cell is you don't really the key to his cell you don't really get it until you get to the area where the boss is. Now this actually caught me off guard a lot when I first played. Head down this way, because there's actually a stairway that's kind of hidden if you don't turn the camera. And these doors we'll come back to later.
You are a sane one, aren't you? My name is Rydiel. Please, liberate me from this cell. I have precious little time. I must retrieve an article from my corpse.
Now, in order to keep... From what I remember, in order to get the key to his cell, you actually need to have pure White World tendency. You need to have pure White World tendency. Although I can't really remember where you find the key. However, if you have pure Black World tendency, then... nice area. Pretty much. But yeah, if you have pure Black World tendency, then he will actually appear in the cell as a Black Phantom. Just checking every cell to see if I'm not missing any items. Thankfully, I'm not. Need to search that. Yep. Oh. Good thing I had iframes there. I've never actually tried attacking this enemy at close range before. Though, personally, I don't really recommend it because that's why. That's why I bought arrows in the first place. And thankfully, if you kill it, it drops plenty of souls, so I'm happy about that.
Please, help me.
Not until I get pure White World tendency, which is gonna be a while. Ah. I'm always so used to the inventory being the second slot, which, especially in Dark Souls 3, but oh well. Selkie is in the top of the first chain tower. That's what I figured. That's what I figured. But yeah, I know you have to have pure White World tendency to, for it to appear. At least if I remember reading properly on the wiki, but correct me if I'm wrong. Here it is, silver bracelets. Silver-crafted bracelets. Elegant ornaments most likely used to decorate an equally elegant outfit. Certainly worn by a daughter of nobility. Possibly due to their high value, the wearer will obtain more souls after defeating an enemy. Interesting. I'll take that. Or, never mind. Well, that bites. That definitely... Oh, female only. That explains it. I don't know why I did not see that. And we get the fluted armor set. An iron helmet with finely cut grooves. It is used by the knights of the relatively advanced region of southern Boletaria. The fine grooves are designed to enhance the protective effect of the thin iron sheet. Its heaviness slightly impedes stamina regeneration. And And again, mostly the same for the rest of the attire. Also, watch your step, because I know there's a pitfall somewhere around here. And thankfully, it's not in this area, so it's basically the area right next to here. Let me see if I can actually dispatch this guy. There we go. There it is. Yeah, watch out for that pit, because that's caught many people, including myself, off guard the first time I played. Waiting for that man-eater fight. That's... Oh! Trust me, I'm gonna be saving that one for later, because that boss caused me so much pain when during my first playthrough. And we get an S-Stock. A large rapier. Rapiers have a narrow attack range, but deal heavy damage. Okay, so it's basically the same description for the other rapier that I have. Let's see here. Okay, I think you actually have to go the other way to... I think you may have to go the other way to get around here. To get around to that edge. At least I think you do, because it's been a while since I played this game, unfortunately. Yep, I think you do. Now this contraption will actually fire a multitude of arrows at you. Now you'd think not to go over here, but turns out you actually need the item that's right here. Took a hit, but that was worth it. There we go. I was actually right. Here's a Mercury Rapier. Oh, I forgot to read the description of the kite shield. A medium-sized metal shield used by the soldiers of the comparatively more advanced region of southern Baltaria. The crest of the yellow dragon signifies the soldier's low rank. Okay, so it's the same description. Yeah, if you're... in case if you're coming over from other Souls games, yeah, in this game you can actually climb up small ledges if you just run into them, which they never brought back in Dark Souls for some reason, or Bloodborne for that matter. Okay, this gate we can't open yet. I think at this point we're supposed to head back the way we came. Okay, not that way. Yep, I am correct. Yep. Now there are 2 more Cthulhu monsters up ahead, so... yeah. I know they're prison wardens, but I like calling them Cthulhu monsters because I think that name fits them perfectly. Once you free Rydell, the gate blocking the second floor east unlocks. Gotcha. That's kind of what I figured. I think I may have actually read that on the wiki at one point. And now we just opened this gate. Actually, I'm gonna see what's the other way first, just in case I'm not missing anything. Okay. Good news, I'm not. And now we're just gonna shut this thing down. And that gives us a safe path to the rest of these items. Clever Rat's Ring. A simple gold ring engraved with the seal of a small animal. Increases attack power when HP is below 30%. Held by Lord Rydell, known as Little Allant. There is also the Dull Rat's Ring, which forms a matching set with this ring. And we can find another Stone of Ephemeral Eyes. Alright, and before we go on to take on the boss, I'm actually gonna head back to the Nexus and I'm actually gonna go ahead and head back and die in the Nexus. That way I don't lower my world tendency in case I die to the boss. Because as you can imagine, that actually happens to me that actually happens to me quite often every time I fight it. At this point, I basically just wanted to go ahead and clear the way. The only downside to doing this is that unfortunately there are no shortcuts in this area. You can easily kill the doll boss. I know. Although, like I mentioned, I do actually have my moments where I actually die to the boss. So I'm just taking an extra precaution just to be safe. There we go. Yep. Grab my souls. And considering that I already cleared the way, I should be able to get through the rest of this area no problem. Yep. Funny thing, every time you use healing items in this game, it almost looks like the character's smoking weed. That's what it looks like to me. Almost got caught by that one. And let's just go up these stairs, considering that I haven't really been up here yet. Then it should be healing weed. Seems like it, yeah. Open sesame! And over here we get a silver catalyst. A tool held in order to use magic, given only to magicians of Jormungandr lineage. Its unique properties increases the user's maximum MP. Alright. Now we're going to go ahead and check out the other tower. Because there's something that we need to do before we fight the boss. That area also has a certain key that I want. Oh. What am I doing? I went the wrong way. If you jump down, you're already at the boss fight. I figured as much. Alright, first and foremost, we're gonna go over here.
What do you want? I am a humble servant. I do not wish to interfere. I won't cause you trouble. I won't.
By the way,
What?
okay, he's
What do
just
you want?
repeating himself. By the way, kill this guy because if you don't, he'll help out the boss. And we get the key to Sage Freak's cell. Hold on just a moment. Calm Ninja, thank you for following. Welcome to the stream. Now, if we go down here, we can actually come across another Black Phantom, who is not really visible until you get into his range. And I just got hit by that. Oh! One more hit. Oh, never mind. Apparently she died for bleeding status. And we get a Black Eye Stone, 2 stones of Ephemeral Eyes, and a chunk of Moonlight, 3 chunks of Moonlight Stone. Black Eye Stone. An eye stone that you stole from a Black Phantom, proof of a corrupted human. When you die and enter soul form, use this item to invade another world. Invade another world. Kind of a translation typo there. This can only be used in soul form. When you enter another world, you become a Black Phantom. If you can defeat the warrior in that world, you will resurrect with your body. However, this only works if you're playing online. Go directly to the boss for a quick fight. Gotcha. Yeah, I just killed that Black Phantom because a few extra souls can't hurt. That's how I see it anyway. Here we go. This game does have some pretty interesting bosses, I will admit. Even before Dark Souls, it still had some pretty good bosses. Also, keep these guys alive because they will help you. They will actually help you reveal traps on the ground. And at this point, she multiplies. Also, a bit of a hint here. The one casting the bigger soul arrows is actually the real one. Ouch. Ouch. Alright, heal up. Shit! Get one more hit on her. Oh. Soul Sphere. That's what it was. No need to lock on. That is actually a really good point. I probably should refrain from doing that. Yeah, Soul Spear. Thank you. I'm always so used to calling it Soul Arrows because it's actually called Soul Arrows in Dark Souls, so... yeah. Well, they were actually called Soul Arrows in Dark Souls, I mean. Indeed. But then again, that's Souls games for you. They basically punish you if you get too cocky. Oh, shoot. Like I just did there. Pretty much. Speaking of Dark Souls, I feel like I probably should do a second playthrough of Dark Souls right after this. I feel like I should do a second playthrough of Dark Souls right after this game because I actually had a lot of fun playing it. Granted, I still love this game just the same, but yeah. Yep. Thankfully, it shouldn't really take me quite as long to get through Dark Souls, considering that I pretty much know that game like the back of my hand at this point. Though, of course, if I were to go through the entire series, I'd probably do Dark Souls 3 right after Dark Souls 1, considering considering Dark Souls 3 is kind of a direct sequel to the first one. If they remastered Demon Souls with DLC, it would be interesting. It would. The unfortunate part is that I honestly kind of doubt that they will, because well, truth be told, Sony actually sent this game out to die, because they originally wanted Elder Scrolls out of this. Truth be told. I'm forgetting. I shouldn't really walk on. There you are. But yeah, they originally wanted Elder Scrolls out of this back when this was in development. And considering the game's difficulty, Sony actually didn't like it, and they basically set it out against its will. Against the developer's will, I should say. In fact, it was originally never meant to be released outside of Japan. However, Namco Bandai of Europe and Atlas took the risk. And so, and of course, then the game got pretty much got the following that it has today. Well, I got lucky that time, considering that she spawned the exact same locations. And if we, and over here we get the baby's nail. A dagger coated with plague. The blade is curved like a talon, often used by women and children for assassination. Among the various unique weapons, this one is especially sinister. By the way, after you defeat the boss, be sure you actually stay as far from the altar as possible if you want to get this item, because the moment you get to the altar, there. You'll just get carried all the way to the next floor of the tower, and there's no way back down unless you warp back to the Nexus. If you will do Dark Souls, create a Sekiro character, that would be awesome. I could try that. I can most definitely try that. In fact, I usually tend to use the Uchigatana a lot anyway. Alright, onto the top of the tower we go. Well, not to the top, but the next floor. and an X on left hand. It'd be tricky, but it is possible. Just for aesthetic. Aesthetic. I mean, can't even speak properly. Yeah, it's a possibility. Anyway, let's go ahead and use all those souls that I have. The only downside of when it comes to early Souls games, only downside is that you have to use every soul one by one. Man-eater time. Yep.
Thank goodness you are safe. I was worried sick about you.
Alright, let me see if I actually have any lighter outfits that I can use. Because I'm pretty much gonna need to ditch this armor at this point. Store these just in case I need them again. Done with Flame Worker? Actually, no, I haven't done Flame Worker yet. I actually skipped that boss because, at least for later, because there are actually some stronger enemies ahead. Do you need to level up? Yeah, not just that, but I also need to buy some more items as well. Like some arrows, for instance.
We are indebted to you, for you fight on our behalf.
I can forge weapons.
I'd probably say about 200 arrows should suffice. There we go.
You come back alive, and
Now I want to see if I actually have lighter armor because at this point, at this point, I really do want to use that Uchigatana. That's actually going to be my main weapon for the rest of the game. Assuming if I can wield it, that is. Oh, wait a minute, the wizard's clothes. That's light enough.
We are indebted to you, for you fight on our behalf.
Alright. Alright, let's see if that's light enough. Yep. This'll do just nicely.
Thank our... We are indebted.
Yep. Alright. Oh yeah, that's right, I almost forgot to put away the weapons that I don't need. I'll keep this broadsword on hand just in case I need it. These stones of ephemeral eyes I will put away. And I will keep some of these healing items on hand.
We are indebted to you.
You come back alive.
Alright, now where's the me in black? I need her really badly. And no, not in that way.
Thou seekest soul power, dost thou not? Then touch the demon inside me.
You're not even making this any better!
Soul of the mind, key to life's ether. Soul of the lost, withdrawn from its vessel.
Actually, I'm trying to remember.